EDMNYC headquarters. We're going to be interviewing Origin. This is Brendan Bartel's Cypher, and hopefully we get to know a little more about their backgrounds and what they do and what they do best. So there's Origin, and we'll keep this interview casual while we play some pool.
2012 releases. We had 4 releases. We had 3 on Discover and 1 on SBX, which included a great release remix by Peter Plasnik and Steve Birch.
Kick and Break remix. Planet Cracker.
So it was a good year for us. Paul Oakenfold had featured us on his recent List the Box and played us on Essential One's Radio 1 BBC. And you know, we did some gigs at Pacha as well, which were really good. We got to reach a whole new group of fans, really showcase our stuff. You know, we like to play 140 tag bangers with a melodic feel as well, and that's kind of been our signature style. You know, we really like
not always 140 though. Like the biggest thing is we're always just tech trance. Like it doesn't matter what beat.
Very diverse.
It could be 134 or 140, but you'll always have some sort of psy element and tech element. Always tech.
Yeah.
Right. We've always been inspired just with music, just based off melodies. Just our biggest things, we always have loved 140 bangers, but not all of them always have like a very light melodic or emotional side. Sometimes it's just straight tech trance with nothing else.
At the end of the day, I think every artist, when they listen to music, they think, what could I do, you know, to improve on that penetrate? And for us, you know, we really just think about the things we love most about trance. You know, the melodic, yep, but we need the dark, heavy bass lines. We like the percussion that's, you know, keeps you in the groove. And we kind of just merge all those ideas and to create just what we think would be the best creation of representation of our style. And so far, people have really appreciated it. I think these days it's tough to find an artist that's playing something a little bit different. So we always strive to be different, unique, and yet appeal to a common sound as well. And so that's something that we're still learning to do more and more over time because we have a lot of different ideas.
Our sound is constantly evolving.
Yeah,
too.
you know, we've even heard it
from last year to this year. Like we've really thrown a lot more variety in our sets too, not just.
Yeah.
It's really like it's kind of like, I guess our sets always have been determined by psy, tech trance, melodic, and it's just all those elements mashed up. Yeah.
We definitely, I think the crucial thing for an artist is to always evolve, you know, and to always better yourself. And that's something that I think a lot of people sometimes slow down on. They get comfortable with the sound. And if you want to keep the listener engaged, you know, it doesn't have to be just what's already out there. You can break the rules a little, bend the rules. And there are some artists out there that really have helped show us like that. For example, like Nick Callahan, Tom Colantonio. Some of those guys have really just merged, you know, their ideas into taking a standard intro and meat and mixing it up and just throwing, you know, changing the structure, changing the flow, changing the energy. And I think that's really important to access a new market, to show people trance isn't just defined by what you hear, but it's also by, you know, all the other artists out there who are making stuff way different than what's being top 40 right now.
Right. How did you guys start? How did you come together? I know you have different backgrounds.
Yep, that's a
so,
good story.
You know, give us a little insight.
I mean, I guess a lot of how Origin's built up is the fact that we come from very diverse sounds. So, you know, our history of coming together is a little different. We both went to Rutgers.
Yeah, so we were just both on different paths. You know, Cypher started hip hop, but I started in trance. Like from 15, I started DJing with trance at 19 on turntables, you know, just a standard 12-inch vinyl Technic MK2 1200s, and you know, I was buying vinyl consistently, you know, influences were like just middle class, more classic trance pre 2005, and I was spinning that. I had my own radio show for bi-weekly on Sense Generate at the time, so I was just developing that. I did that for 2 years, and you know, one of the it was Johan Hielan who said, you know, you should produce more if you want to make more of an impact on the scene. So that's why I started actually going to get into production.
My story's a little bit different. I didn't come into the trance scene or the electronic music scene as early as he did. I was actually a hip hop DJ when I was in high school and going into college. And you know, I really enjoyed playing live, but I knew I wanted to do a little bit more out of production. And I started an organization at Rutgers called the DJ Union. And we had about 40 members. We had DJs, producers, MCs, the whole nine. And we would do sessions once every couple weeks. And nice shot. And he's making me look.
I didn't plan that actually.
And you know, he was one of the DJs that was in the group. And you know, we didn't really talk too much, but you know, we started hanging out outside of that organization here and there. And he'd play me some of his productions, and I'd play him some of mine and what I was working on. And you know, over time, we just became really good friends. And I started kind of experimenting more into the electronic side. and my tracks just started getting a little more and more, you know, trancey, and to the point we just said, let's just try and make a track together.
Right.
You know, sometimes you'll have some great strides in a few months, and then in a few months you'll just kind of be in the dark and working on everything, or just building up then a new arsenal for your sound.
I think one of the advantageous things about being in a duo is definitely that we balance each other. So there's gonna be times where I'm a little frustrated, you know, I'm feeling overworked or down, and you know, it's kind of like a marriage where the other person kind of brings them up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it goes back and forth, and the energy is definitely, you know, when one of us is a little tired, or, you know, even I'm looking forward to all the nights that we're doing gigs together, you know, and all the nights of production, just in the sense of you have someone there as like a travel companion on that journey. It's not always going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but when you're celebrating, it's going to be that much better when you're with someone who's earned it with you.
Right.
You know, we've definitely come up through that time together. So, you know, friends and production, you know, partners and everything else. You know, it's good to have that energy. You know, it's definitely a real thing.
Yeah, then it just makes it that much easier than to read each other when we're at gigs, and you can't like talk to each other. You just have to like.
There'll be a lot of times where we'll both be thinking of exactly what the next track is we want to play, and it happens to be the same one. You know, we have those coincidences all the time. And it's just because we've gotten very in the same sync mode with our tastes and and we're still very edgy. You know, we're both edgy in different ways, so that helps too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm the wild card, and he plays it safe, and sometimes it's vice versa. So.
So with 2013, you know, you have a bunch of things brewing. Of course, first, I guess it's a great way to start the year. You're playing with Ashley Wallbridge.
Yeah, playing with.
It's NYC, Ashley Wallbridge's NYC debut. So. Tell us a little bit about what you plan on doing, you know, how you want to get the crowd going.
I mean, we definitely first want to thank, you know, Esscala NYC for
obviously you guys
bringing that event, and
definitely all the events you guys have been bringing in recently. It's great to see new talent coming in and new parties that are just speaking.
Not the
to
same
to
old
the
guys
community.
being brought in. Like that's one thing the New York scene really needs, and we're appreciative that you guys actually bring that and bring new talent consistently, so it keeps it fresh.
In lieu of that, we don't want to disappoint, you know, and so we're making sure that we have a lot of tricks up our sleeve for this event. Since we're closing, we're going to be playing a little faster. We're going to bridge everything over, and we have a lot of like vocal mashups.
We got some great live tricks, especially with mashups, just live classic vocals with some new tech bangers. That'll really be a nice flair, or mashing up like 3 or 4 different tracks over.
That's what people love to hear.
Yeah, so, and anyone who's heard us play before knows that they really enjoy our sets. They know we do high energy, but
we're doing it live too is going to add like hopefully a lot more just
flair.
Energy. Instead of it being a pre-recorded mashup, it's going to be
no pre-recorded mashup.
There you go.
Pre-recorded mashup.
So here's a close-up of this unique watch. These are the exclusive Origin watches. They're LED. Pretty cool, as you can see, perfect for the club scene. You can control different levels of LED brightness, and you know, tells time very uniquely, and it kind of looks cool. And as we just figured out, it looks kind of like the Origin O, so it works out in all different ways. So it's a great, I guess, giveaway. You know, it's a good value. So hopefully you guys come catch Origin in action and can snag one of these watches, because they sure are awesome. You guys have a great vibe. You know, I'm sure people that haven't listened to you, when they do hear your sound and the way you guys play, you know, hopefully you guys develop a good fan following. And you know, I think we recapped a lot of good things about you. And you know, we're excited to see you guys play at Pachita.
Yeah, we're definitely excited.
Yeah, man, definitely.
We are
ready to go. We're so happy to work with you guys at Esscala and EDMNYC. And you know, we suck at pool, but we're great with trance. So keep that in mind, guys.
So you got Brendan Bartels, Cypher, together Origin. This has been a EDMNYC exclusive.
Thank you guys.